What if you could choose when you die? Not how, not why, just when. Imagine being given a single document with one empty line beside a date. Whatever you write there becomes the exact moment your life ends. No accidents before it. No illness takes you early. Until that day arrives, your body holds together. And when the moment comes, it ends quietly. No drama, no warning. Once chosen, it cannot be changed. At first, this feels like power. Death, the one thing that has always controlled you, is finally under your control. You pick a date far away, 80, 90, 100. You feel relief knowing the end has been scheduled. Death no longer lurks in uncertainty. It waits patiently on a calendar. And slowly, life begins to feel different. Fear weakens because you know you won't die before your chosen time. You take more risks. You speak more honestly. You stop rushing certain decisions. But you also stop treating every moment as fragile. Life becomes measurable, countable, optimizable. You start planning existence like a project: when to love, when to succeed, when to slow down. And somewhere in this efficiency, something subtle disappears: urgency. When death is uncertain, every day feels borrowed. Every goodbye matters. Every choice carries weight. But when the end is guaranteed and distant, days feel owned, predictable, safe. You stop asking, "What if this is the last time?" because you already know when the last time will be. And then relationships begin to change. Do you tell people your date? If you do, every shared moment carries a countdown. If you don't, you live with a secret that shapes every goodbye. Love becomes heavier when it has a fixed expiration. And eventually, a quieter fear emerges. Not fear of dying, but fear of living past meaning. Fear of becoming someone who is no longer living forward, only waiting. Because choosing when you die doesn't just decide your ending, it reshapes how you live every moment before it. Some people don't choose faraway dates. They don't write 80 or 90. They write 40, 35, sometimes even sooner. At first, society is shocked. Why choose to die early when you don't have to? The answer is control. They don't want decline, sickness, or dependence. They want their life to end while it still feels like theirs. At first, we call them brave, but soon early dates stop feeling rare. If someone chooses 40, people accept it. 30 brings discomfort, and then someone chooses 25. Suddenly, the question isn't why so early, but what did they see that we didn't? Choice spreads because choice is contagious. Once leaving becomes possible, staying becomes a decision too. Every year you live feels like renewed consent. Suffering changes shape. Pain is no longer just endured, it must be justified. Doctors stop hearing, "Can you save me?" and start hearing, "How long should I keep going?" Relationships shift. Time becomes visible. People ask not just who you are, but how long you plan to be. And slowly, pressure appears, not to die, but to explain why you're still alive. When death is optional, existence becomes conditional. Life is no longer something you simply have, it's something you must constantly justify. And that leaves one terrifying question. If you can choose when to die, do you still have the right to live without explanation? At first, people believe this power will bring peace. Knowing the end date feels like relief. Anxiety shrinks. The future looks manageable when it has edges. You stop fearing random accidents, sudden illness, meaningless suffering. Death becomes scheduled, orderly, polite. But certainty has a hidden cost. When you know exactly how much time you have left, every moment becomes measurable. You don't just ask whether something matters, you ask whether it's worth the remaining time. Small choices grow heavy. A bad week no longer feels temporary, it feels like wasted life. Regrets become sharper because there is no someday left to hide in. People begin counting their days not in years, but in experiences left. How many sunsets remain? How many conversations? How many chances to forgive? And something subtle breaks. Spontaneity fades. Risk feels irrational when the clock is visible. Why start something you won't finish? Why fall in love if there are only so many months left? The future stops being a place of possibility and becomes a shrinking container. People become careful, efficient, optimized, and quietly less alive. The date you chose was meant to give freedom. Instead, it turns time into a budget you were afraid to waste. And the cruelest part is this: even joy feels different. Happiness becomes urgent, almost stressful. You're not just enjoying the moment, you're aware of how few moments remain. The countdown never stops. The knowledge you thought would calm you becomes a constant whisper, asking the same question again and again. Is this how you want to spend what's left?